Hi, this is Mr. Izzet here. I'm a teacher of language arts, and I've designed this video tutorial in order to show other educators an innovative way to use some of the features of Google to drive instruction that relate to the Common Core. More specifically, the activity that I designed is one in which the teacher will utilize Google Search and Google Task in order to inform instruction during a Shakespeare unit. Let's take the prologue from Romeo and Juliet, for instance.
Two households, both alike in dignity, and fair for honor where they are seen. From ancient grudge breaks to new mutiny, where civil blood makes civil hands unclean. From forth the fatal lords of these two foes, a pair of star-crossed lovers take their life, whose misadventured, piteous overthrows do with their death bury their pardoned strife.
Okay, awesome dramatic reading of the text aside, let's look at this from the perspective of a 14-year-old who's probably looking at this for the first time. And to be quite frank, if I hadn't spent about 10 years of my life studying literature, I would probably be a little confused as well. The confusion, of course, comes from the language. I mean, Shakespeare uses a lot of words that aren't in use today, and sometimes he uses a lot of words that just aren't commonly used. Adding to the difficulty is the fact that every other word could quite possibly be a vocabulary word, which will make it very hard for students to practice the skill as outlined in standard RL4, determining the meaning of words and phrases as they are used in the text. So how can using Google Apps rectify this issue, you might ask? As it turns out, there is a Common Core standard that works very well with the activity that I'm about to show you, and that is the language standard L4. Consult general and specialized reference materials, both print and digital, to find the pronunciation of a word or determine or clarify its precise meaning. The way I would have students practice the skill is I would pair them up and assign each pair a cluster of 4 lines. Of course, I would provide them with some context beforehand, explaining how Romeo and Juliet fall in love, but their parents are enemies. That way they can just focus on doing a close reading of their assigned 4 lines. Now, the second to the last line in this one cluster that I would assign to students is the perfect line for me to model this activity for you, being that there are 3 words here that could quite possibly constitute vocabulary words: misadventured, piteous, and overthrows. And they appear back to back. So we'll definitely be needing to use some reference material here, and that's where the Google Apps will come into play. So the first thing we're going to do is use one of the Google search operators to quickly get a definition of a word. Simply type define, colon, and then the word in question into the Google search box. In this case, it'll be misadventured. And you'll notice that the first result that comes up is a definition of the word. Now what we'll have students do from there is we'll have them take the definition of that word and use it to build their own Shakespearean dictionary in Google Task. Obviously they're going to need to have a Gmail for this, and when they open it up, what they're going to do is they're going to go to that little arrow there right by where it says Mail and go to Tasks. And this little box will pop up right here on the right, and what we're going to do is we're going to begin to create our lists of Shakespearean definitions for this unit. Then students will repeat the process for every unfamiliar word that they come across within their clusters. So essentially, students will be using digital reference material in order to create their own comprehensive Shakespearean dictionary. And even though this isn't necessarily what Google Tasks is intended for, it comes in pretty handy as it is very easy to alphabetize your list of definitions. All you have to do is wait for the little hand to appear and then drag. After the students have consulted the specialized reference materials to create their own Shakespearean dictionaries, they may, in their pairs, have a discussion about the definitions of those words to determine or clarify its precise meaning given the context of the act and scene that they are reading. Once that's been established, they may move on to practicing the skills outlined by Standard 2 for reading literature, providing an objective summary of the text and determining a theme or central idea. After all, students can't get to that part until they have some comprehensive understanding of the vocabulary. So students will be utilizing technology and the internet to access digital reference material so that they may create their own easy-to-access reference material to expedite the process of clarifying the precise meaning of vocabulary words, enabling them to provide an objective summary of the text so that they may move on to analyzing in detail the development of the theme or central idea. So there you have it, a very practical way to use Google to infuse technology and the internet into your pedagogy in such a way that relates to the Common Core, promotes higher order thinking, and is student centered.